Canik TP9-SFX. I'm sure you read the title of the video, so you're not having too much surprise at that, but let's take a look how it comes from the toy store. Just got it from the toy store. I have not taken it out of the box yet, other than to fondle it affectionately while I was doing paperwork. So up top we have a product registration card that would be, I presume, so they could notify you of any warranty issues or recalls. Let's start up at the top. Up at the top of the box, first of all, the box is a good quality box. You know, typical plastic carrying case, but it's a nice one. It's got foam that's cut out specifically to fit all of the components. Again, another nice touch. We have the owner's manual, which is very thorough, describes everything about the pistol, obviously in terms of safety and operation, but it also shows you how to do some of the maintenance items you would need to do, such as changing out the removable plates for red dot optics. I'm not going to go into that level of detail in this video as far as changing those out, but we'll get around to it eventually. Okay, we have a cleaning rod and a brush, which is nice. And we have the paddle for the holster that is included with the gun, which takes us now to the lower part of the box. So you can see the gun in the holster. This is exactly the way it's packaged. So this is the paddle portion. If we take that out, you turn it around, you can see the mounting place where you mount the paddle part of the holster. And I'm going to be doing that because as part of this first 100, I'm going to shoot this gun for the very first time in an IDPA match. After all, it is a competition gun. And here it is. You've seen it before. If you're interested in this gun, you've been looking at other YouTube videos about it. I am not the first person to get my hands on this gun, but I want to give you a good look at it. I want to do something a little different with it that I don't think has been done yet, and that is run this thing through a competition, an actual match. And other than maybe doing a little bit of dry firing, I will not have shot it before that. Just taking a look, an overall look at the gun, it is a very attractive pistol. I like the other TP9. The TP9-SA is the one that I previously had and still do have. In fact, it's actually right here. But obviously it's very much the same, but very different. Aesthetically, it's very, very appealing, very pleasing. The Cerakote that they call tungsten gray is really nice. Mine has a little mar right there. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera. Yeah, right there if you see the light. A little mar in the Cerakote. But other than that, it is beautiful. I like the two-tone, but it's a very subtle two-tone. And they carry that through to the magazine extension base plate. That is a +2, as it says. Takes the normal 18-round magazine and makes it a 20-round magazine, and it comes with 2 of those. There's the other one right here in the box, along with a magazine loader. So you get 2 20-round magazines, making our capacity what? Come on, boys and girls. 20 plus 1, that's right. And how many is that? That's right. The magazine release button that comes on the pistol is ginormous. Actually, it's only ginormous in terms of its length out from the pistol. It's the same size as previous, but it's just very, very extended to the point where I can eject the magazine without really altering my grip at all. So if I'm shooting, boom, easy to eject the magazine. That might come in handy when I shoot a match. Canik says that they improved the trigger, which made me sit back in my chair, because the trigger on this guy is about as close to perfection as I've felt on a polymer gun. So when they said they've improved the trigger, I'm like, wow. So I'm going to take a quick measurement before shooting it, just to see what where it's breaking on the scale. I've already dry fired it a couple times, of course, and it does feel quite lovely. We have some cuts called lightning cuts, not lightning like strikes, but lightning like takes away weight. And that's what those are for. So you got 4 on either side. You got your sort of Buick Roadmaster look there for the old timers who will understand what that means. And we've got a couple underneath. Now one of those actually may be functional. That forward hole may be so that you can get a tool up in there to remove the front sight. But those all take away a little bit of weight. The idea there is that the slide should be able to cycle with the same amount of energy that this slide cycles with, basically. So that if you're running around that you've perfected for this gun, it should operate in this gun the same way. That's the theory. That's the objective. Right up top here we have a removable plate. You can see the seams around it. That would be removed and replaced with one of these 4 plates that come with the pistol. I haven't taken one out yet. Let's do that. So this is number 4. I'm presuming there's a 3, 2, and a 1. And depending on the optic that you want to mount, whether it's a Burris or a Sig Romeo, choose the proper corresponding plate, remove this cover, install this plate, and then mount your optic to this plate. We will get into that eventually, but not in this video. Also comes with another back strap. It says number 1, so I don't know. This is either larger or smaller than the one that's on the gun. It looks like it's larger. So the one that's on the gun is the smaller of the 2. Comes with a little bit of little chamber flag. It's always nice to have chamber flags. Also comes with this little toolkit, which is quite cool. It's actually very cool. So you get this little kit that comes with some replacement filaments for your front sight and a couple of little tiny washers. Comes with a little Allen wrench. Comes with a handle to run the slide with. We'll talk about that down the road at some point. Comes with some replacement screws, and it comes with 2 additional sized magazine release buttons. So if you want to reduce the size, because the biggest one is on the pistol now, if you want to put a medium or the small, which should be the same size as the other pistols on there, you can do that. So very cool little case of tools. And last but certainly not least, at least it's not least yet, is the holster part. And this strap that's dangling from it that has the name Canik, if you can see it on there, that's actually a retention strap. So that would snap on the front, as you see, and then it would go around and it would snap on the back as well. I'm not real interested in a retention snap, so I'm going to take that off and I'm going to leave that in the box. I am interested in the holster though, because I don't have another holster other than the one that came with the SA, and that is more of a Serpa type holster, and I definitely don't want to use that at a match. This has an interesting feature. If you look at the holster on the inside and think about where this paddle is going to go, paddle is going to go like that. So in the inside, it has what it looks like is a Serpa type control. You say, well, that's going to be a little awkward, isn't it? You're going to have like long, skinny alien fingers to try and get in there. Nope. Actually, what it is, if you look at it inside, I don't think we're going to have enough light to show it to you inside, but inside, it's just right here where the tip of my finger is, there's a little retention device. It is spring-loaded. You can see if I push on the inside. But it's like it's kind of like a little pyramid or a triangle. And what it does is basically just catch the front end of the trigger guard and give you a little bit of retention, but it's easy to draw through. So it just gives you a little bit of, you know, hey, I'm not going to fall out of the holster type of retention. But it's not intended to be weapon retention type of retention, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't, oh well. And for the moment, I'll put the box away. I will be coming back to it. At some point in time, we will mount an optic, I promise you. Oh, it also comes with a trigger lock that would go inside the trigger guard and lock the trigger.
All right, Hollywood, let's go. Shooters ready. Stand by. Clear. Finish show clear.
Okay, now you can just take a good look at the pistol while I give you some of the basic specs, and then we're going to get this thing out and get busy. Barrel length is 5.2 inches, so it's got a nice long barrel, and they call the barrel match grade. I don't know what that means either, but it sounds good. The marketing department decided that it is a match grade barrel. Overall length of this pistol, 8.27 inches, so it's not kidding around. She's big. Height, 6.2 inches. Same thing, from here to here, from the tippy bottom to the tippy top, 6.2 inches. So again, that extended +2 magazine definitely comes at a price. Width is 1.37 inches. And the weight, 1.83 pounds with an empty magazine. So not necessarily designed for concealed carry, I'm guessing. The gun does have Warren tactical sights on it, which is definitely an improvement over the previous version of the Canik. If you can see that red filament right there. I know, hard to see the red against the red, right? And the blacked out rear, which is nice. I like that a lot, especially in a match gun. I also noticed that it has a sort of a U-shaped notch in the rear, and it's got a very narrow blade on the front sight, so good for precision aiming. Could come in handy in those 25-yard shots that my match director likes to set up. Talked about the milled slide and the 4 plates that come with it. And again, they talked about improving the trigger. So let's take a quick look at this trigger. I love this extended mag release too. It is incredible. Let's take a real quick read on this trigger if we could. Wow. Wow, that is light. Okay, starting now. £3 pounds, 14 ounces. Let me do a couple more, because it can be very subjective depending on where you grab it. 3 pounds, 11 ounces. And 3 pounds, 11 ounces again. That is pretty nice. They said they aimed for between 3.5 and 4 pounds. That is right between 3.5 and 4 pounds. So good job. It is a beautiful trigger. Just show you a little bit here. So it has the trigger safety in the middle, which is, you don't feel that at all. It just disappears. Take up is kind of considerable. Right to there. And it's a little bit gritty. You might even be able to hear that. And then the brake. The brake is very light, very crisp, and very short. There's no over travel. The reset, yeah, non-existent. The reset is like, it's like Sig Sauer short. And then you are right back to the wall for a crisp brake. So you get used to this. You get used to this trigger. Man, you could run that thing super fast.
I'm gonna shoot it. Just know it. And I'm gonna shoot it behind you too over there. Just knowing it.
Alright, clean, 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 clean. Nicely done, Dave. Nicely done. Clean! Clean! Clean!
Okay, a couple of questions I'm anticipating that are on your mind. Starting with, are the magazines interchangeable? Yes, they are. As you can see here, they are wearing each other's shoes. Okay, so the SA will take the +2 magazine, and the SFX will certainly take the regular flat base plate 18 rounder, which is a good thing. Next question I'm anticipating is, are the slides interchangeable? Let's find out. Okay, this is the SA frame, the SFX slide. Yes, sir. Perfectly interchangeable. And see, now I'm actually tempted to shoot this one in the match because it's already got a rubber Talon grip on it. I got to get a rubber Talon grip quick for the other one. But anyway, And just to be sure, okay, there we go. Yep. Perfectly interchangeable. Fool your friends, mix and match, collect them all. So there they are. The shirts and the pants don't match now. So the IDPA match took 88 rounds, according to my count, give or take a few, but I think I shot 88 rounds in total in the 5 stages of the IDPA match through the Canik TP9-SFX. A buddy of mine who really wanted to give it a try put a couple magazines of his own ammo through it, so we are up to at least 100, probably a little more than 100, but I am going to switch over now to some Remington and shoot a box of Remington UMC 115 grain ball. Just have a little bit of fun, maybe get slow things down a little bit, put some nice hits on a target if I can. Let you get a look at that. So right off the bat, literally the first shot I took, the first stage of the day, the red fiber flew out of the sight. So I've been shooting the entire match with no fiber optic sight. Just a weird hole. But I did okay. I shot a couple of stages clean. It does go where you point it. That one flyer that you see right there is a testament to just how light this trigger is. Under 4 pounds is a pretty light trigger on a striker fired pistol. And that one got away from me. The trigger is absolutely insane in a good way. All right, well, you get the idea. It pretty much puts them exactly where you point it. This is a great gun. Several people asked me, everybody knew what I was doing when I was shooting the IDPA match. I told them I was literally putting the very first rounds through this gun, and that was true. The very first time I shot this gun was when I pulled the trigger the first time that buzzer went off. People ask me all day, so how's it shooting? What do you think? You know, the way I put it to them was that I am not cognizant of this pistol at all while I'm shooting the stages. In other words, I'm not noticing it one way or the other, really, and that's about the highest compliment I think I can pay to shooting a gun for the first time, especially in a match. It was so natural, it's such a natural pointer, the ergonomics are so good, and the trigger is so incredibly fine that I wasn't paying any attention to it. The only thing that I was really mindful of was the fact that the fiber optic came out of the front sight. And so the first stage, that definitely bugged me. And the rest of the day, I just treated it like a black sight in a black rear sight. No big deal there. The gun is really super accurate. The 5.2 inch barrel did a good job. We had a couple stages with some really long shots out at about 25 yards. I was able to shoot those clean. So the gun does a great job. You've got that long sight radius. Well, that really helps. I don't know. There's a lot to like here. I could easily see this being my regular match gun. This is a fine shooter. No malfunctions, of course, at all, anytime today. Well, there we go. There's the first 100, which is actually turned into about 200. So 200 rounds today through the Canik TP9-SFX. Flawless performance, absolutely flawless performance. Lost my fiber in my front sight with the very first shot, or within the first 2 or 3 shots, and been without it all day. Still shooting great. Haven't really had any problem because of that. Yeah, sure, I missed the glowing red dot of the front sight, but it's still a very good front sight and a great sight picture, and I did great with it. So no complaints there. I really, after one day of pretty good thorough use under very practical circumstances, I mean, if you can shoot a first 100 during a match, that's about as good an indication as you're going to get. And in this case, this gun performed absolutely perfectly. No complaints whatsoever. I liked it a lot. Like I said, people kept asking me, you know, so how are you liking the gun? And I'm like, well, I'm really not paying that much attention to the gun while I'm shooting it. I was paying attention to shooting the stages, and the gun was just there, and it just performed, and it just gave me great sight picture, and it gave me accurate shots, and it gave me reliable performance. And I think that is all good stuff. I can't really think of any better way to compliment this pistol than to say I shot an IDPA match with it, having never shot it before, and it just felt completely natural, like I'd been shooting it for a year. So that's exactly how it was. Okay, so quick bullets to talk about after the first 100 of this gun, and don't worry, you'll see it again, I promise. I've already got a pretty good idea what I probably should compare this directly against. Any ideas? The trigger is incredible. I don't mean it's just a nice trigger, I mean this trigger is incredible. One of the nicest improvements that they made was right here to the slide stop control, where they sort of added this bit and wrapped it down, sort of dog-eared down this front tab. What that allows you to do is quickly swipe that either with your shooting hand thumb or easily grab it with your support hand as you push the gun out. So it's unusual for me to not have to alter my grip at least a little bit with pretty much every gun to drop the magazine. With this gun, I did not have to. In my natural shooting position, I'm able to drop the mag. And believe me, in a match, it's those little things, being able to close the slide quickly with a slide stop, slide release button, being able to quickly and easily dump your magazine with the mag release button. Those are the kinds of things that shave seconds off of your time and give you a better score. The lightning cuts in the slide, mostly aesthetic, I think, but they are functional in that the gun ran great with my competition loads. All the ammo that I shot in the match today was my competition loads, and I load them to be just a little bit above power factor. About the only way I can think of right now to improve this fantastic gun would be to start by putting a rubberized Talon grip on it. So I guess I'm going to talk to my friends at Talon, see if they can't hook me up with a rubber Talon grip. We'll put that on there. We'll get the filament back in the front sight, and I don't know what else you could do, except I will mount an optic on there and we'll play with it. Maybe we'll shoot some Steel Challenge with a red dot on this pistol. That sounds like fun. The TP9-SFX is all that in a bag of chips. I love it.